Hello my fellow Araxians, today we'll be traveling far and wide in search of the absolute worst bases in Planetside 2. I've come up with 5 and a lot of these are based off of the community's opinion. That's right ladies and gentlemen, I went onto the Planetside 2 forums, asked for some opinions, and boy did I get a load of opinions. Thank you so much for your help. It's always great to hear from everyone and getting your thoughts on these sort of things. Anyways, without further ado, starting us off at number 5. Broken Arch Road. Yes, the base that's in the butt crack of Indar. It's quiet now, but when this base gets anything beyond a 48 on 48, it becomes a massive clusterfuck. And as you can see, there are sniper nests everywhere. Look along that canyon. There are just so many ways a sniper can get at you from the spawn room. It's just terrible. Ugh, I just hate this base. And especially during prime time, there are going to be vehicles going up and down this road in the middle of the base. And they'll be shelling the crap out of the spawn room because of course the spawn room is in a freaking ditch, essentially. A giant, 1,000-foot deep ditch where artillery can just shell the crap out of you the moment you jump out. Or even think about jumping out. It definitely does not help that this base is sort of smack in the middle of Indar, or at least central Indar, so you'll be seeing this base a lot. Coming in at number 4 we have... Well, okay, so we have 2 bases, but they're pretty similar, and I figured I can just group them together. Yes, they are the treehouse bases of Hassan. Absolute nightmares to try to take one of these unless you are super coordinated with your platoon. The first one I want to mention is called Hunter's Blind. This base isn't too terrible because you have many different ways to get into it. The fights can be spread out to ground level as well. However, if you don't get enough momentum as the offense, the fight can easily become a game of what I like to call jump pad whack-a-mole for the defending faction. But this is nothing compared to the true number 4 of this list, which goes to Halcyon Watch. Where Hunter's Blind has many avenues of assault, Halcyon's Watch takes all of that, eats it, and shits out only one area for jump pads. And then finally, it has the attacking faction eat all of that. What makes it worse is that the base is in a C shape, so there isn't really an easy way to flank. The capture point is located closer to the spawn room than the jump pad, so it's going to be an uphill battle trying to get this base. The only redeeming factor is that if you hit jump at the apex of the jump pad, you can land on top of a platform that will give you a decent vantage point over the first third of the base or so. However, it's on a platform, it comes onto a rooftop without too much cover, so you can quickly become easy farm if you aren't careful. Up next at number 3 we have Biolabs. Which Biolab you may ask? Well, all of them, sadly. I know the devs were thinking of coming out with redesigns for this base, but as of June of 2015, we have yet to see them on live. Now, Biolabs don't actually get that bad until you start getting, around 48 versus 48 and upwards. It essentially becomes a platform farm because the attacking faction is forced to travel up this long ass jump pad to get to the platform 2,000 feet above, where the defending team can just play jump pad whack-a-mole again. If the offense can make it past the farm, they're still stuck on that platform because the entrance just becomes a giant bottleneck. Yes, that's right guys, the Biolab is a highly defensible base. Sure, there are teleport rooms into the Biolab, given if you capture a neighboring outpost base, but those get camped to high hell during big fights. There are definitely ways around the choke point as the attacking team. Oftentimes I'll see like one of the 2 platforms get stuck up, but the other platform will barely have anyone on it. Why the attacking faction doesn't attack from both fronts is a mystery to me, but maybe I'm completely missing the point here. And, maybe people actually enjoy meat grinders. Needless to say, I am not one of those people. Next up is number 2. Abandoned NS Office. Yes, we are back in Indar. This base is either extremely easy to defend or extremely difficult. It's sort of out in the open between Mao Southeast Gate and the Howling Pass checkpoint. and you'll be seeing tons of armor at this base during prime time. In all honesty, it is probably one of the few ways to take this base because there aren't a lot of good hiding places to deploy a Sunder for the attacking faction. If there aren't a lot of armor suppressing the infantry to the spawn room, then the defending faction will easily find the Sunder and destroy it. So either look like this or like this. However, if both sides are relatively equal in size, you'll just have like two giant armor columns hurling shells at each other in the area between abandoned NS office and the Howling Pass. It's essentially an outdoor, open-scale clusterfuck. These fights can go on for hours. I'm not even shitting you guys. It can go on for hours. The only thing worth doing is to either pick up that sniper rifle, or hop in a tank, or pull an AV Max, or spam like reviving people / dropping ammo. That's not exactly my idea of fun. Finally, the moment you have all been waiting for, number 1. Yes, subterranean nanite analysis, or subanal as some call it, hee hee ha ha. This base is notorious for being a terrible base. Just look at the Google search when you type in subterranean nanite analysis. You have comments ranging from subterranean analysis is stupid, to subterranean analysis is the worst base ever, to subterranean analysis also known as LOL. Huh. That probably says something, guys. That probably says something. You know what it says? You know what it fucking says? It says don't fight at this base when it becomes over, 32 people, okay? Because what happens is it's essentially just a giant choke point. The entire base is a giant choke point because the entire base decided it wanted to be a maze in the inside. Yes, a maze. It is a freaking maze, and I could never figure out how to get out of this base. It's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. I think the base in some ways encourages the defending team to stay in the anal hole because there are just some jump pads that for whatever reason will shoot you out of the ground into the open for you to catch all the bullets in the world with your face. Now some of you may be wondering, well, why don't you just sit down and learn which jump pads take you where? No, okay? Who in their right minds would ever want to fight this base during a giant fight? Never. Never in a million years would I ever want to sit down and actually learn the layout of this base. This is the most awesomest base ever. Nope, fuck that, nope. So with all that said and done, this about wraps up my personal 5 worst bases of Planetside. So all you guys sitting out there watching this video better hit that like button because footage gathering for this video was a pain in the ass. Now I know what's coming, guys. I know what is coming. A lot of you are going to be all like, oh, well, there's this one base that I think is awfully terrible and you didn't put in your top 5 list, so you obviously don't know what you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I have something for you guys. If you just give me one moment. Okay, all right. I have a list here, okay, of honorable mentions just to kind of make you guys happy. There's my cell phone, so it better make this freaking quick. We have at number 1 of the honorable mentions list. What do we have? We have Scarred Mesa Skydock, and that's a pretty bad base. I'm sure you guys can all agree, right? I mean, Scarred Mesa Skydock is a freaking pain in the ass to fight at. It is a terrible base. So what's next? Number 2. Okay, construction sites. Okay, so these are the ones, those rectangular bases on Hassan. What do you call it? They're not all called construction sites. They're essentially like football field shaped rectangular bases. It just becomes like a shooting range. Really annoying to fight at. Alright, what's another one? Oh yes, Edzimir. How can I forget? You'll notice I didn't mention any particular bases in Edzimir because there were just so many bases like what I'm going to talk about. So in Edzimir, almost every base has a giant freaking wall around it, and the smaller bases that have giant freaking walls, they just become giant freaking clusterfucks in giant freaking fights. I get the reasoning, okay? I get the reasoning. The devs are trying to make it so that vehicles can't farm Esamir bases as easy, but there has to be another way, because what ends up happening is that all the infantry gets shoved into a doorway, and it's just terrible. It's like Biolab 2.0 Snow Edition, okay? It's just not very good. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys are satisfied. Go ahead, leave me a comment in the comment section below if you have, I don't know, some other base, some other base that you think I should have mentioned. I'd be curious to see what you guys have to say. And until next time, I will see you guys later.